Carroll, Amy Richmond, Angie Reffo, Brenda Gaston, Carol Bible, Carolyn Foster, Christy McIntyre Gray, David Shepard, Deb Sherwood, Denise Essengler, Dustin Benz, Gal Brooks, Katie Walton, Connie McCollum, Laura, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your last name, Gadgerix, Maeve Warwick, Marilyn Pizzulo, Nicole Kelso, and of course, Jen Wigginton, who was just phenomenal and always stayed in touch with us, was a great communicator and super helpful. So if I missed any names, I apologize. That's what's listed in our base camp, but we really appreciate the partnership and just wanted to get on to say thank you.
Okay, sure. Before you go, we also have somebody visiting us that was unable to get her award at the conference.
Oh,
So we would like to present that to her. Thank you.
yay, Marilyn. We so wanted to honor you there, Marilyn. Thank you for your service to the field.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. And that's great to hear what a success COAB was in Indianapolis. I personally could say my team came back very inspired and excited.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that.
Next, we have our lobbyist joining us, Lauren Bach.
Yeah, turn it down.
You need to turn the volume down.
You're not muted.
Your speaker.
Huh?
So sorry, we are getting some echoes here, so we're just trying to fix that.
Caroline, you probably want to mute everybody who's not talking. There's some people that aren't muted, and I think that's what was causing that.
That's what I'm working on now. Let me unmute.
Thank you. I think that was you, Lauren. Good job.
Now.
Okay, so go to the next slide. Sorry, Jen. Great. Next, we have Lauren Fox with us. She is a partner at Barnes and Thornburg, and for those that don't know, she is our IAACE lobbyist. Lauren, can you take it away?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. So good to be with you, and I do appreciate you being flexible with me and letting me present virtually this morning. As most of the IAACE team knows, I had a baby the week after session, so I have an almost 9-week-old at home, and I've been working a little bit remotely to spend some time with her. So again, thanks so much for being flexible with me. It was a really, really tough session. I'll get into a little bit of the politics of it, but I'm sure many of you, if you're in Indiana, you were paying attention to the redistricting fight. You probably knew that there was quite a bit of tension in the legislature this year. But despite that tension, we did have a pretty significant win on behalf of IAACE. We did end up getting a bill passed. It was House Enrolled Act 1195, and that bill does extend the high school equivalency pilot program for 2 years to June 30, 2028. There were not a lot of bills passed this session, and we were told that it was going to be a very difficult session to move things through. But with the help of Representative Michelle Davis, with the help of the IAACE team, and then, of course, with the help of people from both Washington and Warren townships, where those programs are in place. And I believe Natalie is on the call right now from Warren Township. So special shout out to her. Don't know if Todd is on the call as well, but certainly it was a team effort and in a really difficult session to get a bill passed and to get the high school equivalency program extended was a significant win. So well done to the whole team for that work. I do want to give a bit of an update, certainly on the primaries and what we just experienced last week, and then also an update on what our focus is going to be for next session. So again, for those of you in Indiana, you probably are aware that we had a very contested primary in this primary season, primarily on the Senate side. We did lose 6 incumbents as part of that primary day, and 5 of those were committee chairs. So there will be a significant shift in leadership, not only with the individual committee chairs, but potentially at the top of the Senate as well. uh, Senator Pro Tem Bray, who has been in that role since I believe 2018. There is some thought that his leadership was a little bit on the ballot as well on Tuesday. And because so many of the further right Trump aligned candidates did win those primaries, there is a question of whether he could have his leadership potentially challenged as the pro tem as well. So there is a possibility that there could be a change in leadership at the top of the Senate. And we certainly know there will be a significant amount of change at the committee chair level, too. One, I think, bright spot for our group is that Representative Michelle Davis, who, of course, is a member of the House of Representatives, did win her primary. She was actually primarying a sitting Senator Greg Walker out of the Columbus area. And Greg Walker is a great man, so unfortunate to see him lose, but certainly fortunate for IAACE purposes to see Representative Davis prevail, assuming she wins the general election in the fall, which I certainly believe that she will. She will now be in the Senate and certainly have quite a bit of influence. Given that there's some turnover and some shifting around on the Senate Education Committee, I fully expect that she will be one of the senior members of the Senate Education Committee. And I think that that is an excellent place for her to be because she will continue to champion us and our initiatives. So again, a very difficult primary season here in Indiana, to say the least. But I think one bright spot for us is Representative Davis is going to likely be in the Senate starting in the fall and will continue to be a good champion of ours. Looking ahead to the 2027 session, this is a budget session. So in budget sessions, our number one focus is always adult ed funding in the budget. We had quite a bit of success, and I'll caveat this a little bit, but we did have quite a bit of success in the 2025 budget session, getting our line item increased to 20.985 million. And we were successful the entire session until the last week of session when it was discovered that there was a $2.9 billion revenue shortfall. And when that was identified in the revenue forecast, the entire budget was basically slashed overnight. Within probably 3 to 4 days is really where they made those cuts. And our line item was reduced back to what it was previously, which is the 16.985 million. So that is where we sit right now for our current fiscal year funding. Our goal will be certainly to increase that line item back to the 20.985 million, and that will be our main focus for the budget session. I will say the economy is trending better. Our revenue forecasts are trending better than what was expected in April of 2025. So my hope is that we will be successful in getting that line item increased. But what I will say is that the most important thing we can do, and I know that Caroline and others, probably Denise, are going to emphasize this throughout the day, but the most important thing we can do as members is to build relationships with our local legislators. They like to hear from their local adult ed partners. They like to know you. If they have a relationship with you, it is makes all the difference at the State House when we're really going to try to push for these initiatives. So again, congrats on a great win this session. Really happy for us. Great teamwork. And here's to looking towards next session and really pushing to get our funding reinstated. With that, happy to take any questions from the group and turn it back over to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Lauren. We really appreciate you joining us, and congratulations again on adding to your family. Are there any questions?
Thanks so much.
Sorry. Are there any questions for Lauren? Okay. Well, then next we have Laura, our state report. Laura, sorry. Laura Pastore is with us today from the Department of Workforce Development. Laura.
Do you want me to speak from here or do you want me to come up there? What would be easier? I would go ahead and come up just to
Yeah.
Here you go. I'll trade you seats. All right.
Your slides is what you want. Yes. And the old messaging about it. That works perfectly. That's so much easier than trying to move the camera.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll make it easy. So thank you for including DWD in the annual meeting for IAACE. We wanted to take just a few moments to talk through the past year and then look ahead to what's coming up. So if you want to move on to the year in review, it was an amazing year, 25-26. I put this together and I'm like, I can't believe we did all this in one year, if you want to know the truth. We had started off with our conference partnership. DWD provided a strand of sessions for professional development. Of course, we provide verification that all of the time you spend at IAACE counts towards our professional development requirements. We integrate the Programs of Excellence Award into the IAACE Award Evening, which was just exceptional last year. Then, of course, we move into AE Day at the State House, and it takes so much coordinated planning to pull that day off, but I can tell you all that it was really an exceptional day. Not only was there exceptional snowfall, but there was exceptional attendance and people making the trip and showing out. For the first time, we had Governor Braun there, and that was really exciting. I think one of the highlights of the day was the big poster boards we had put up around everywhere, and he looked at one of them and said, I didn't know that. And what he did not know is that we are #1 in the country in measurable skill gains and have been for several years. So being able to make that case in front of the governor and have him represent us along with many other legislators, including Renee Pack, Senator Rod Bray. We had an impromptu legislator jump up on stage because he was so moved by the day, and we just had amazing award winners in the essay contest. So we've also worked on getting additional marketing and PR support. We're doing more press releases around the work happening in AE, and I hope you all can feel and understand the importance of making sure that we have that cross partnership promotion out there telling the story of AE from multiple angles. Then we had a professional development contract recompete. This is a result of Senate Bill 5 that required all sole source contracts be recompeted in open competitions. So we did that, and IAACE was awarded the contract. It is a 6-year contract, so we feel very good about that moving forward. Then we had COABE. And, you know, as Sharon mentioned, I did not know it was the 3rd largest attendance. I know we were all sweating bullets to make sure that we had everyone there that we had agreed to get there. But I want to let you know that the staff support from the IAAC, or I'm sorry, the DWD staff, and it's up on that slide, a group of your DWD AE team, and behind that race car, they all volunteered. They did presentations. They were there every day. And I just couldn't be prouder of the role the DWD staff played in supporting this conference and really showing how incredible Indiana is all the way around in adult education. We continued the Indiana Mentoring Project, which people just rave about. Thank you to Rob for always being there to support those new and continuing directors. That is a highlight of our partnership. And then just consistent engagement and partnership. IAACE always includes DWD and DWD leadership in planning, meetings, board reviews, everything. So thank you for that. We appreciate it. Woo, that's a lot. All right, let's move on to what's coming next. We have our IAACE conference in the fall, and we are going to be very close at partnering this coming year as well. And then we have a very significant state legislative session. Obviously, it's a budget year, and getting on the same page with messaging, education. We use the E word, not the A word, right, Marilyn?
Right.
And so just making sure we are all on the same page, rowing together, saying the same things to expand that impact is really important. We are looking forward to another significant AE Day at the State House. I have already reached out to the IDOA coordinator. Bart and I will make sure that we get the best date possible and just make sure that we are first in line for those important time slots where it has the most impact in front of our legislative partners from an education standpoint, of course. And then the Indiana Mentoring Project. We have agreed to do that again, and that is part of the 6-year contract extension. So that is what we have coming up. And now I'll pause in case anyone has any questions for DWD as to our partnership and collaboration with IAACE.
Hey Laura, it's Lauren Box. I hate to ask a question and put you on the spot, but I believe we just got a new DWD commissioner this week,
Yeah.
Kate Shelby.
Yes.
I personally like Kate quite a bit. I work with her a lot. Was just curious. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen, you told me to put the question in the chat. I can add it in there.
No, it's all good. Keep going.
Okay, I will add it in there too for the group, but was just curious if we have any sense of Kate's view of AE or how we might be able to partner with her moving forward.
So yes, we announced it on the statewide call on Wednesday earlier this week that DWD has a new commissioner. And we are very excited about that. Kate Shelby and Lauren, I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, I think she's going to be very engaged. I've already been in meetings with her where AE has been brought up and promoted, celebrated, recognized. So I feel very good about starting off with this new commissioner. And I think we're going to have a good spot with her. We've done a ton of work in the past year with interim commissioner Mike Smith. He spoke at AE Day at the State House. He's very aware of the work we do. Allison Bertle has been recently named the Chief Workforce Officer, and she is very knowledgeable and very supportive of AE as well. So I feel like there is a lot of support, recognition, and most importantly, understanding of what adult education does and how we contribute to the greater goals and mission of DWD, which is a stronger workforce. But thank you for bringing that up and allowing me to speak a little bit on that, because as most of you know, any new leadership brings questions, and I feel very confident that we will continue to have good standing with current leadership and our new commissioner. No more questions? Well, then thank you very much for giving us a few moments here to speak about DWD's role in this partnership, and I will turn it back over to Jen.
Thank you, Laura. We look forward to continuing to partner with DWD. Next, we have our Indiana Adult Education Mentor. This was something Laura did touch upon. Rob is with us. Rob, would you like to give us some of your updates? Would you like something here, Rob?
Oh, you said turn my camera.
Okay, go ahead. I can also agree with what Laura said. Everyone that has done the adult education mentor program with Rob always raves about it. I can't say I learned about adult education from Rob when I started 10 years ago. Marilyn reminds me every time it's more than 10, but
Okay. All right. Well, the Indiana Adult Education Mentoring Project is a collaborative initiative between our Adult Education Office at the Indiana Department of Workforce Development and our Professional Association, IAACE, to provide professional learning and consulting services to our new local program directors, as well as our more veteran and continuing, not so new directors who desire to participate. So there's several things that I do to support our local administrators. First, at the beginning of each month, I email out to our directors an issue of monthly reminders to administrators. That lists all the important meetings, deadlines, tasks that I can think of to accomplish during the current month, as well as an idea for increasing enrollments and other tips for program leadership I found and think are helpful. These issues are also archived on the IAAC website for anyone who wants to access them, if you'd like, so you can go there and get those. Secondly, I meet with our new adult education directors and any of our directors who wish individually throughout the program year to discuss whatever's on their mind, to brainstorm ideas and solutions to situations they're encountering. Some of the issues that they raise typically throughout this past year have been IET and WEI ideas, correcting errors and inters, program performance and meeting goals, staffing, pre and post testing strategies, funding and tracking budgets, increasing HSE completions and enrollments in our classes, and many others that are on their agenda. And since it is a form of professional development, they get a certificate documenting all the time we spend learning together. In between times, I'm always available for a director to call, text, or email, maybe get on a video call for those quick, in-the-moment questions that arise. And finally, we have a new adult education director's course available online and asynchronously that cover 7 topics: adult education at the federal and state levels, budgeting and finance, student eligibility, recruitment, intake, and attendance, standardized assessments, performance and accountability, student exit follow-up and post-exit performance, and IETs, WIs, and IELCE. We actually have more than just new directors in the course. We have some experienced directors, teachers, support staff, and it's a course designed to just explore individual topics. That's fine if you want to do that, or to actually complete the course by participating in the quiz and discussion posts for each topic. During the program year so far, we've since we started this a couple years ago, we've had 64 adult educators start the course, and 36 have completed it. And when you do complete it, you get a certificate for 10 hours of professional development. So if you'd like to participate in any or all of the Indiana Adult Education Mentoring Project activities, just contact me through the website you see there, and I'll be happy, or the email, and I'll be happy to include you. The last thing that I help our programs with has been pre-apprenticeships. And those are IETs that meet certain criteria. Very easy to meet those. But what raises an IET to a pre-apprenticeship primarily is an articulation agreement with a registered apprenticeship program that provides students who complete your IET facilitated entry into that registered apprenticeship program. Some of the typical ones we have are in the areas of welding, construction, child development, and there is one for one of our programs has community health worker. That's Lafayette. Altogether, we have 39 of our IETs certified as pre-apprenticeships. They are conducted by 25 of our 54 programs, 53 programs, I think, this year, and it represents 11 out of the 12 economic growth regions. So we are very well covered. Our students have a lot of opportunities, but we could always use more. I'm not saying we're done with this work, okay? So let's keep it going. We got great things to help our students. We received, DW received national recognition for the work we've been doing in this area, and I think it's certainly worth doing. So if you have an IET you want to talk about, how can we make this a pre-apprenticeship? The advantage is the students get that facilitated entry into the apprenticeship. They are paid to work and to learn, and they're doing that work. And most of the learning, most of it in their local communities, so they don't have to travel very far, except, well, once a month or so, maybe to a training facility. So we're happy to do that. In fact, I just worked with one of our programs just this morning before this meeting. We got an application submitted. So very happy to do that. And I'll be happy to answer any questions if I've not gone too long already.
Thank you so much, Rob. We appreciate all of that you are doing. Next slide, please. Okay, great. Well, to all of our IAACE members, today one of the things we thought was important as a board was to make sure that we are sharing kind of what it is the IAACE board does for all of you. We will be doing that throughout the entire meeting, but also just making sure that you know kind of what is our mission. So this is our mission statement, Indiana Association for Adult and Continuing Education, IAACE. I know it's always hard for me when I have to say it out too. Evaluate lifelong learning and workforce development through professional development, collaboration, and advocacy. So we do this through multiple strategies. we have 4 different campaigns, which are just ways that we kind of are saying are like our focuses. So we want to partner with you as adult education stakeholders. We want to promote adult education throughout the state of Indiana. We want to support all of our members and the adult education work that we are doing, and we would love to lead professional development initiatives across the state. I thought it was also helpful for all of our members to understand exactly how this board does those 4 different kind of strategies or campaigns. So how we do this is through 3 different paid positions. So first we have IAACE Executive Director, that is Jen Wigington. Jen, yay, take a bow, good job. This position is a 30-hour-a-week position, and she works 50 weeks a year. So that is one of the big positions that we do financially support as a board. Then we also have our Indiana Adult Education Mentor, which was Rob, who just presented. Rob can take his bow as well. He does this through, as Laura already shared, the Department of Workforce Development helps us financially support this position. So IAACE really serves as a pass-through funder for that. And then our third one is our lobbyist. Laura Fox was with us earlier, and hopefully it's still on as long as she can be. And we are with Barnes and Thornburg. We have partnered with them. This partnership started, I believe, over 10, 15, 20 years ago. People are shaking their head. Yes, this is a long time partnership, and we have been very lucky to be able to continue to support this. Next slide, please. We have 13 members of our IAACE board, just so you know, and then you have 5 executive positions. So one of the things I thought was also important was for you to know the IAACE actions. A lot like Laura, when we wrote these all down, I was kind of like, wow, we've done a lot this year. We've been busy. So 2025, we had our IAACE conference, hitting it out of the park with adult ed. That was extremely successful, and all of these things we will touch on in more detail. So just so everybody is aware, I'm going to kind of go quickly through them right now. But again, we will touch on all of these. Advocacy is clearly a really big, important thing for us at IAACE, and hopefully for all of you statewide. Some of the success we've seen is the Adult Education Day. We also worked tirelessly in July to help advocate for our federal funds to come back when that was unfortunately frozen, for lack of a better way of putting it. Then we also did Advocacy April. Please do get in those bingo sheets. Last little plug. So we have professional development with the success of the COABE conference. Great to hear again that this was the 3rd largest attended. I didn't know that till today, so I'm excited to hear that. We had success with a PD conference and mentoring contract with the Department of Workforce Development. Those probably don't know that, but we were working on that in February. We did have to submit an RFP, and we are excited to say we did receive the award of continuing that contract. We do specialized teacher PD sessions throughout the month. These are called teacher talks. Outreach and community. We have a great video we will be showing you later. And we have also seen a lot of growth in our social media this past year. And our membership and communication. We've seen a membership growth. We have over 400 members. I know that, again, the collaboration committee will talk about specifics. We published successfully a monthly newsletter. We have active blog. We've been able to enhance our website. We have community chats. And then one of the things that recently was added on was a regional representation on our board. So as a board, we got together and realized there are some regions that are not represented on our board. As a way to kind of combat that or make sure that all regions are represented and are aware of the information that is covered, we added a position of a regional representation. So what that means is if your region is not covered on our IAACE board, we will welcome your region to
Good morning. All the annual meeting minutes can be found on the IAACE website, so you can view them by clicking that link. Hopefully you all had a chance to look over them and approve them, or look over them ahead of time. If there are no questions or comments, we just need a motion to approve.
Move that we accept the minutes.
80 seconds. Thank you all. I think the next on the list is Laura for the treasury report.
Oh,
sorry.
You need a phone. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Now it's Laura for the treasury.
We go. Good morning, everyone. As we move forward and start looking at the budget, go ahead to the next slide there. As Caroline mentioned, we wanted to make sure we're very transparent and are showing you exactly what we're doing as an association and how our board has determined the needs. We've been able to make some adjustments as we go throughout the year. In this first section on our treasury report, you're going to see the income. Basically, like all of our programs did in this past year, we had to make some adjustments and some tweaks as we went through from the start of July, as Caroline mentioned, looking at changes that were coming. Were we going to have funding or not have funding? How long would it take? A lot of those same things that we as program directors or those that are working in the programs, those same struggles were being had by the IAACE board as well. We did make those adjustments. If you look in the income section, you can see that our individual memberships and organizational memberships, we generally budget for about $21,000 coming in there. If you look at the two green lines beside that, you'll see that those total $20,519. So we weren't too far off in terms of maintaining memberships. As you look down into the conference side, though, that's where we had some big changes. Of course, in a year in which we both had the IAACE conference and in the same school year COAVE, with the uncertainty going into the beginning of the school year, I think there was a reduction in the number of folks that were able to go to the IAACE conference this year. You can see there 120,750 is what we had budgeted for that. Carolyn and I have become very good friends over the course of this year. As we've worked through a lot of budgeting issues, we did make tweaks and changes to the conference outline very quickly, knowing that we needed to be able to reduce the cost of the conference in any way that we could. We'll talk more about some of those things later, but you can see there where we were able to adjust down our actual spending in both conference fees. Our sponsorships and partnerships were also slightly reduced for this year. And then collaboration funds with our great partners from DWD were consistent. As you go into the expenses, we break that out in two different types of expenses. There you're seeing the general expenses, our contract labor and our mentoring. Those are our wonderful Jen Wigington and Rob Moore operations there. And then making sure that all of the travel and needs for COAVE and IAACE are covered. You can see there those amounts. The traditional running of an office or running of a system makes up the majority of the rest of those amounts. And then in the blue, you'll see some of the specifics that are more focused on basically keeping the office running day to day. And that's what that $4,702 over to the right side is totaling up those numbers there in blue. as we go to the next slide, you can see here our memberships. We've increased the cost going into the new year. We did have an increase in our COA membership. We've made the decision to not renew our IAACE membership. Pro Literacy actually covered the cost of our membership for us, and we're very thankful for that. And then A to Z Math with Jay Snyder. Actually, he has decided that he does not need to be paid, and we can continue to utilize his materials through the IAACE membership. Tax preparation, lobbyist. Our lobbyist looks off by 5,000. That's just because they had not yet billed us as we pulled these numbers the 1st of May. That will be coming out this month. So that is still the normal 25,000. When you break down into the conference, you can see that's where a lot of these adjustments were made throughout the year. Budget, just like we did for our programs. I think we did 4 budget revisions going into the start of the year. I can assure you, Caroline and I have made more tweaks to this one than that, but we wanted to make sure that we were being very, still providing top professional development, but making sure that we were keeping it in alignment with the decreases that the programs had seen. Hotel and meals, we were able to stay under our $75,000 budgeted amount. Technology, 16,000. The awards were wonderful, beautiful awards, but we were able to bring those down a little bit. Our keynote speaker was a big adjustment. We did make significant cuts there. Again, still had great quality. And then looking at the gifts to attendees, I know everybody loves the hats and the bags and the t-shirts, but it seemed like a small price to give up to make sure we could still have a great conference and lower the cost for programs so that more folks could come. So you can see there are total expenses, 222,397 is what we had budgeted, and we spent instead 176,505. You can go to the next slide there, Jen. So just in wrapping that up, looking at the conference expenses, again, the budgeted amount is there, the 113,000. Our actual expenses were able to be brought down to 84,140, and then a total reduction of nearly $30,000 just on the conference alone allowed us to move forward throughout the year. Next slide. And then in terms of the general expenses, that's everything outside of conference. We budgeted 78,000. Our actual expenses were 68,000, and our total reduction was another 10,000 in that category. Next slide, please. So wrapping up at the final overview, our revenue that was budgeted was 234,000. Our expenses 222, and our profit or surplus was expected to be around $12,000. Our actual revenue was $233,790. Our expenses $176,579, and our profit or remaining funds is currently listed at $57,211. And this is through May 1st, so that will come down slightly as we finish out May and June payments. Any questions that anyone has? Jen,
I have a question.
Sure.
Am I allowed to talk? I put it in the chat.
Go ahead.
So I'm confused about the $75,000 for hotel and meals. So that seems like a lot of money for hotel and meals. Can somebody explain what that was and who it was and where it went and all
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely. And I can let Jen give you the very specifics on it, but in general, it is incredibly expensive to pay for the food and for the spaces and the microphones and all of those types of things. Jen, I'll turn it over to you because I know you know the breakdown since you have those contracts, but you are correct. It is a lot of money.
Last year we were at Blue Chip, and whenever you look at, we had 305 attendees, and I think we had like 20 or 25 guests. And therefore, when you look at the meal cost for the award dinner, I believe was like $68 a person. And then of course, breakfast averages around $30 a person. And We had one lunch, which was around that $30 mark as well. So
Okay.
that,
Okay.
that all adds up.
No, I didn't realize that was part of the conference. That's what was confusing me. It appeared to me when it was a line item, it was something completely separate. And so that's where I didn't get that when it said hotel rooms. So that was the part that
Yeah,
confused me.
So
They're
Yeah.
forgetting, I'm sorry, we should have told you, we go to Hawaii.
Yeah. I'm
do
like,
not go to
what?
Hawaii.
What the hell,
Do not go to
people?
I'm
Hawaii.
making a joke, everybody, I'm making a joke.
No, I get that now.
Kidding.
It's just the way it was worded when it
Yeah.
said food and hotel rooms
Right.
that,
Yeah.
that was confusing to me. So I really appreciate that clarification.
Sure.
Thanks.
And we do have to pay for each of the individual session rooms. We have to pay for microphones. We pay for the laptops to be there, so it's easy for people to come in and just plug in, play.
No. I get that.
Yep. Yep.
I've played in conferences. I get that. It was just the way it was worded that was
Gotcha.
confusing me. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you, Sarah, for the question. Do we have a motion to approve of our treasury report? If there are no other questions, I'm sorry.
I see no other questions.
Carol moves to approve.
Carol moves. Do we have a second?
David seconds.
David seconds. Great. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, David. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next slide, please.
Moving on.
Moving right on to new business. And right up, we'll just have Laura keep going with the budget.
All right, this will be a little shorter, but as we look at new business 26, 27, our income expectations, again, our membership numbers are very similar to the previous year. As you look down a little bit there on the conference fees and the conference sponsorships, those numbers are back up a bit. In terms of conference fees, we are going to be charging $400 for the conference, what's the correct term there? I can't spit it out. The early bird side of it. So that is slightly higher than last year. It allows us then to make sure that we can have the amount of funding that we're going to need. We will be at Belterra for this, and since it's in a more rural area, we will need to have more of that funding go toward additional meals, making sure that we can keep everything moving smoothly when there's not a lot of places that they can go outside of the actual hotel. So we want to do the conference fees and the sponsorship side of it. We are actively looking for additional sponsors and extending our partnerships with DWD as well. Collaboration funds, again, staying the same. As you go into the next slide, that revenues totals 280,000. Last time it was 234,000, just as a reminder. And we look at the expenses on the labor, most of those are about the same. There were some adjustments in terms of our accounting. Some of the membership costs were a little higher moving into the new year. Things unfortunately continue to go up. Our co-ed membership is now 1,500. In the past, it was 1,200. Moving into hotels and meals, again, we are budgeting for a higher amount in that same category because of the number of places. We won't have a lot of options. It's a wonderful venue, and we've had great conferences there before, but we do know moving into it based on past experience that we need more funding for those meals. And I think most of you are probably as shocked as I was the first time I saw how much it costs for even a breakfast in these hotels. So that's what it's going for. Technology in the past was 20,000, so we're basing it on that again. And then our keynotes, we're going to increase that from last year, but hold that about 5,000. And then gifts to attendees are back. Not going to share anything with you yet. Denise will have some wonderful things to share with everyone at some point. But more than anything, we are looking to, with our total expenses, be at about 248,958. Next page. And so currently what our total revenue over expenses, our expected revenue will be the 280,000. Our total expected expenses, both general and conference expenses, come out to the 248,958. which leaves us a potential profit or surplus of 31,000. That's just really our safety net, helps us to be able to make adjustments throughout the year. And as Katie comes on as your new treasurer, we will be excited to, oh, probably wasn't supposed to say that, oops. Anyway,
running against her.
Thank you for a wonderful one-year term, and I will just let you know the next person in line is going to do a great job for IAACE. So,
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I didn't know
You're
about the
good.
question. Sorry about that. Are there any questions? Well, before we make our motion, I do want to give a shout out to Laura. Laura came into this for 1 year. This was a 1-year term, and had done a great job and really took on our budget, cried with me many times about some of the cuts that had to be made. And we've tried very hard to tighten our purse strings, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I appreciate all the hard work. Thank you.
A motion has been made by Matt Kreitz to approve the budget.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Do we have a second?
Denise will second.
The second. Great. All those approved say aye. Any opposed? Great. Thank you so much. Next slide, Jen. Next, we have Natalie Reuter, who's going to help us with our 2026 board election results.
sorry, Natalie, I didn't mean to blow it for you.
It's all right. Hi, everybody. I'm Natalie Reuter. I had the privilege of being on the committee to look through the election results. So the other two folks who were on that committee and helped work through it was Lisa Crew and Laura Smart. So thank you to both of them who, so let's start the new officers. Yay! We have our new president-elect, Ryan LaPlante, and our new treasurer, Katie Walton.
Yay!
So congratulations to both of you. We're very lucky to have you guys. They also, the voters of the IAACE, they had 105 people who voted, which is awesome. And they nominated 4 new board members at large. So we have Adrienne Carroll from Region 1, Marilyn Pizzullo, Region 5, Hannah Price, Region 11, and Katie Sattler. So we're really excited. The board, one thing that I know Caroline and the whole board has worked really hard to is have, extended regional representation. So right now on the board, there'll be 5 different regions that are covered, which is awesome. And I think that is all of my slides.
No, go back.
Oh, so I will hand it back to Caroline.
Thank you, Natalie. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Thank you, everyone.
We appreciate you. And then, sorry, Natalie, if I misread my stats. We actually had 5 different regions that were represented on our nominations.
Awesome.
On our board, we have 10 regions represented, and then we have 2 regional representations.
Much better.
Sorry
Good
about
job,
that.
Caroline.
Yeah, sorry about that, Natalie.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And then go back. And then one little thing I want to do is say happy birthday to Laura Smart. Today is her birthday, and we appreciate you for being part of our nomination committee. Okay, so next we have, thank you for your service. We have, next slide. Sorry about this. We have 4 different members that will be leaving our board at the end of June. Not too quickly, guys. You're hanging on for another month and a half. So Laura will be leaving us. Again, Laura has served as our treasurer. She's done a great job. Carol Bible will be leaving us, which Carol has done a wonderful job of making sure that our vendors are well represented on our board. She's also done a great job with professional development for us, so we appreciate her service. Yes, and next we have Melinda Haynes that will be leaving our board. She has done a wonderful job with advocacy and helping us at a state level of making sure that we are advocating for adult ed and connecting with our legislators. David Shepard will also be leaving our board. David has done a wonderful job with collaboration, and he has a big project to be bragging about, but I don't want to steal his thunder, even though I've already brought it up a couple of times. So, David, we appreciate you. Melinda, Carol, and Laura, thank you all so much. Next, we just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of our calendar. This is our calendar for 26, 27. We do meet monthly. It's the second Friday of every month, and we do that online. We do have one meeting in person, as you probably tell at this lovely transition meeting or annual meeting we are here. Just to know, so everybody is very clear, these are subject to change. We're not holding ourselves to this. But we are planning currently for May 21st, 2027 to be our next annual meeting. Hopefully you guys can all join. Okay, great. So getting into new business, well, we have been in a new business. I'm sorry about that, but our last little thing is bylaw changes. I know we all love going through bylaws, so I'm going to take a very long time to go through each and every edit. I'm just kidding. I will go as quickly as I possibly can, but at least make sure that I'm explaining it all to you. These bylaws have been shared with all of you guys as our members. This was shared with you a month ago, right? At least a month ago. So the first thing I just wanted to make sure you know, we're not changing our name. I just wanted to make sure you were all aware. I am not going to go through every single grammatical error change because I do not want to waste your time. So just wanted you to be aware of that outright. There have been some grammatical changes throughout the document, but we will not be going through those. We're just going to go through the ones that we feel we should allow you to or be aware of. Our first change or second change would be Article 3 under our purpose. We are changing this because in the last language we had developed human resource. Us as a board thought that was kind of confusing since we don't necessarily work on human resource projects for our members. So we just changed kind of the language a little bit. Next slide, please. Oh, and please stop me if you have any questions in the chat or anyone in the room. As I am going to try to go quickly just to try to help everybody with time. Next is our kind of membership in section 2. We just changed kind of how this read. Before it said like individual like teachers and admin, and so we just kind of narrowed it down to individual professionals. The individual is the addition, and going ahead and narrowing down those different aspects. We didn't feel that was necessarily. Okay, next is our powers and duties of the president. Our changes, we are just removing that IAACE. For those that don't know what that stands for, because I didn't, that's an American Association for Adult and Continuing Education. This is actually a national organization. And when we kind of surveyed the group, we realized that not a lot of people are using that, and that is at an expense to all of us. So we have now gone ahead and removed that as an association that we will be buying it to. And means as president, you don't have to worry about it. Yay, Denise. The next one is really kind of more in editing. It's just how we changed our board of directors and how we went ahead and spelled out who we were referring to. The next one we have is, so sorry, is the board of directors and election and term of office in section 2. There was a change in, what was the change? I'm so sorry, everyone. Sorry. Oh, more than 2 consecutive terms. Okay, thank you. Sorry, we can't see the notes, and I had hoped to have my computer pulled up, but it made it very hard and confusing for all of you. So I'm sorry about that. Some of these were kind of going through quickly. And directors shall not serve more than 2 terms as a director on our board. They could serve in another capacity, but they can't serve more than 2 terms. Next, we have section 3, our meeting of our board directors. Here, actually, on our bylaws, it was spelled out with each month that we had to meet. It does say we are no fewer than 6 times per year, but before it also laid out July, September, November, January, which led to us having a meeting in July, that we didn't have enough members for because of vacation requests. So we have decided that we're just going to go ahead and remove those specifications a month so that the new president could go ahead and not have a meeting if there is nothing to be covered or no new business. Next, please. Great. So in section 4, we just added a further guidance to refer to another article because that was not later specified. We felt that was important for everybody to take a look at. Our limitations, we just went ahead and reworded this situation. It has always been that we are limited to 2 representatives from any one program or organization in a hope that we are representing us statewide. Article 8 on our committees, again, that was just a language change. Next slide. Okay, now we're getting into the nomination election procedure. In section 2, we went ahead and changed the language. Before, we had to have at least 90 days prior. You guys can all read this. There was also something about a mail-in capacity. And we went ahead and added electronic, and we went ahead and lowered down the amount of days prior to the annual meeting. Because of electronics, you know, we are able to receive results clearly quicker. So we felt 60 days prior to the annual meeting was plenty of time to distribute a nomination to you guys as members. Next slide. Everyone's really going in on this bylaw. I really appreciate this. So, and the next one is our amendment. And this is Article 12. This was what was referenced earlier. And again, this was really just a change in how many days of amendments and a language change. We didn't like how it read before. So if there are no questions, I will need a motion for approval of our bylaw changes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did we have Lauren, Box, or anybody review the changes to the bylaws?
We did not, no. They were really just changes of language a lot. So it was received that was, and we did AI some things. So, but other than that, no, we have not had anyone at a legal capacity.
I did check our articles of incorporation to make sure that our purpose was not changing, and we're not changed. The Pacific purpose is not specifically in the articles of incorporation, so we won't have to make any changes at the Secretary of State.
Good question.
And there was one question in the chat from which group was surveyed for the IAACE membership. And I answered in the chat that the IAACE was surveyed. The IAACE membership limits the individuals to 3, and we surveyed the executive committee group as well as any individual that was previously on that list, which is a very short list, just so you know.
And we felt that the reason we did remove the the IAACE was we do feel that COAVE is covering a lot of those things with our membership there. And that is at a $1,500 expense for us to allow all of our members to also be COAVE members. Are there any other questions? If not, can I get a motion for approval?
Laura makes a motion to approve the bylaw changes.
Can I get a second?
David seconds that.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, David. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Great. Thank you, everyone. So next we move into old business. This is actually where the meat of this meeting will be, I promise you on that. So first thing we would like to do is kind of just go over our conference with all of you. Just so you can go ahead and kind of see quickly our stats. So biggest thing is we had 305 attend, 130 IAACE members, 149 organizational registrations, I'm so sorry, and 26 non-members. We had 20 sponsors and exhibitors. And the big thing that Laura did cover very extensively was we budgeted for 113,000 in expenses. We only ended up expending 84. So as you can see, we expended less. With what was going on at a federal level, we thought that was important to save money. So next, we go into our strategic plan. So just so everybody, you can go ahead the next one, so sorry. Just so everybody is aware, we do want to keep our strategic plan at the center of our board. So one of the things that is coming up is our strategic plan actually expires here in December. So us as a board would like to hear from any board member on what you believe is going on at IAACE or field, and share us your perception, what you feel is our value, anything that we can go ahead and do and take back to help guide our strategic plan. Our survey is going to close on June 30th. Just so you know, this is anonymous. When you pull up this Google form, it does say you are answering as with your email address, but it does not actually capture that for us. So we will never know who exactly responded in that way. There are some open-ended questions, and we ask each of you to please send this, please sit down, take the time, fill out the survey. It's really important to us. Just one more thing, just so you know, we will give out this survey link again later, and this will come in a blog and newsletters, and I know Jen, she'll put it on our social media, so this will be very well covered and probably even added to our website. Again, the survey closes till June 30th, so hopefully that gives you everyone some time to sit down and respond. Next slide. So part of our strategic plan is that we do have standing reports and standing committees. So in order to support our strategic plan, we have 5 different standing reports and committees that go ahead and help us to make sure that we are supporting that strategic plan. I feel like that strategic plan a lot. So anyway, we're going to next go into our standing reports. Good news, you guys will not be hearing from me because I am going to let all of our committee leads go ahead and take these over. The one thing I can ask of all of you is if you are interested in joining any of our committees, these are open to any member and we would love to hear from you. So our first standing report is professional development. Take it away, Katie.
Thanks, Caroline. So as your past president, I've been in charge of the Professional Development Committee. We did some reformatting this year, offering some new things for all our members. We, in the past, have done teacher talks monthly. Maeve has done a fabulous job of doing those for us, but the attendance got really low. So we decided to do a video instead. So each month the teacher is selected and they interview with Maeve. Doesn't take very long. It's not very scary. I did it for the first one. And I did it in one take, so it was even easier. Hey, and so those are published on the website and shared monthly, kind of just like a, hey, checking in with another teacher throughout the state. And so if you're interested in that, reach out. We'd love to have people do those. And we'll probably need someone to take that over for us soon as well. We also have been offering monthly PD professional development webinars, kind of a variety of topics. One of them recently was with Bridget Strickler and storytelling and the importance of telling our adult education students' story. We had Stephen Schmidt from COA present on differentiation instruction, always a hot topic, right? And then a recent one was values. We have one coming up soon that I will tell you about on the next slide, which don't go to it yet, Jen. The one thing and part of the strategic plan that we have not really covered tremendously is our repository of resources. We have one on the website. It needs updating. It needs new submissions. And that's just something that wasn't accomplished this year. So that is part of the strategic plan that hasn't been addressed that much. If you're interested in joining the fun, I know I have a couple board members behind me that come to our Friday meetings when they happen. And we'd love to have new members, so you can check out IAACE website to join our professional development committee. Now on to the next slide, Jen, thank you. So our June professional development webinar is with Human IT, presenting on how to prepare our adult learners for an AI-driven workforce. AI is such a good buzzword right now, hot topic. Might as well jump on board and learn how we can help our students understand that better and probably ourselves. So come join us on that fun webinar. If you aren't able to, you can still register and you'll get the recording at a later date. That is all I have. I'm going to pass it to Denise now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Katie. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am Denise Esslinger, and as your current president-elect, I get the privilege of co-chairing our conference committee. And as we've said before, we hit it out of the park last year, and this year now we're going to make some magic happen down in Belterra. Our committee is quite a big committee, and I have to just give them a shout out. A lot of feedback, suggestions, and things have come in as we've been planning this conference starting last November. So just a big thank you to the committee, and we always would love more members. There's lots to do as we get closer to the conference that will be September 30th through October 2nd. Some of the subcommittees on our committee that we have are through our keynote speaker, our strand leads and call for proposals, which have already been released, our vendor and sponsor recruitment. We will be working on our facilitators and volunteers for those days, registration, our communication, and something new this year is making a special point for our conference newcomers or those who might be coming alone, not with other members of their team. So we want to really make sure we can make everybody feel welcome. Next slide, please. So this is where we're at for our conference. Again, our theme this year is Together We Make Magic Happen. And whether you might be thinking of Disney magic or Harry Potter magic, what we're really thinking about is that magic that happens in those classrooms and at your program levels that help our students be as successful as they are. And while we have been #1 in the nation for quite a few years. So attendee registration will open up on July 1st. As Laura mentioned, early registration will be July 1st. We did extend it to August 28th this year. So that way, with the hustle of starting classes, you won't forget the early bird registration. So member fee will be $400, non-member $500, and late registration will happen after August 28th for $450 and $500. The hotel reservations will also open at Belterra on July 1st. Next slide.
That is it.
Yeah. This is our keynote speaker, Mr. Lewis Cheney. Very excited about this. You can tell that he looked at our theme and put that together as how he can incorporate his speech speaking to start the conference off on Wednesday to what magic can be. And, you know, as we talk about it, there's things that happen each and every day that we do. I know we try little tricks of the trades, and this is a great opportunity to share all that with each other. And he's going to kick us off on September 30th after the lunch. So we look forward to having him there. Thank you. Next slide, please. All right, call for proposals. I know they're out and we have received a few, but we need many, many more. And that's where all of you come in. We have a wonderful team of strand leads, as you can see here, that is also on the website. Very excited to see all the different proposals. You can see the different strands that we've talked about as a committee. A lot of them are the same, but we want to make sure we're covering everything we can at that conference. It's 2.5 days of great learning and sharing and networking. And we want to bring the best presentations to you that we can. Please look at yourself. How can you participate? And then please reach out to those of you that are members and also who are in your program level. Great things are happening at each program, and we'd love for all of you to share those tricks and techniques, best practices that we can continue to grow the great work that we do across the state of Indiana. So please get those proposals in June 6th. And I know that means June 5th is where many of them will come in. So we look forward to seeing those. Next slide, please. And as I said, while we have a large committee, we can take many, many more. So please come and join our committee. We do meet virtually the second Friday of the month, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I like to say everybody gets a say on our committee. So if you have an idea and something comes your way, join our meeting and share us your suggestions. We'd love to hear from them. And again, a big shout out to the committee, co-chair Jen. We've gotten a lot accomplished this year already, and it's only May. So thank you, everybody. With that, I will hand it over to David Shepard.
Can you hear me from here? Or should I move up? I'm moving up.
Just move up. Yeah. You can see the slides better.
Hello, everybody. David Shepherd here. Next slide.
Oops.
Whoops.
Tricky. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, there we go.
Ah.
Oh, there we go. Our member.
Sorry, I did the big reveal all at once.
Okay. Our membership currently stands at 482, and we have 25 student memberships. Now, keep in mind, 226 members of that 238 individual memberships are comprise the majority of that, but we do have 12 retirees. The organizational memberships, we have a total of 99 members. And to be an organizational membership, to have one of those, you may recall it takes having between 10 and 30 members in order to reach that level of membership. And then we have Ivy Tech's institutional membership with 145 members. And so we total out to 482. Let it be known, because it would be certainly a reasonable question to ask, how does that compare to, say, last year? And reasonable question, but difficult to answer because it would be a bit like comparing apples to oranges. We had somebody else who did the calculations for last year, and so it wouldn't be a fair comparison. But let it be known that going forward, we will report to you uniformly and accurately our membership each year. So we will have something to talk about next year in comparison to our 482. The student memberships, you should also know, those are free to our students. And the reason we have 25 of them is that we have 25 success stories to report on of the good works that each and every one of us does. And 25 students have joined, and it's free to them. Next, please.
Sorry, I'm answering questions.
Oh, okay. Also, you should be aware that a best practice is, in fact, collecting and managing those student success stories, and that of course, drives the 25 students who are currently members who have a free membership. And that this comes full circle then. Next. And we have many ways to communicate. And Jen and all of us do a fantastic job of doing that. Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, our website, our newsletter, and the blog. I'm part of the community chat that meets the third Friday of each month. I really enjoy that and love hearing from those who have participated in it. And if we're going to continue to be the national leader that we are, I need you to commit to not only being renewing your membership when that comes due, but continue to participate, actively engage in IAACE. We're so much better for so many, having more voices and more diversity. So please, if you haven't been part of the board before or a committee, please consider that strongly in the year going forward. Next. And
let's pray it works, right?
Yes.
I can't see my mouse. There it is.
There it is, right there.
Being an adult educator is challenging enough, so don't do it alone. That's why IAACE exists.
The Indiana Association for Adult and Continuing Education is a statewide community of educators, advisors, and leaders working together to strengthen adult education. As a member, you gain access to professional development, mentorship opportunities, exclusive teaching resources, and a network of peers across Indiana who understand the work you do every day. The impact of adult education goes far beyond the classroom. From improving literacy to opening doors to better jobs, that impact is felt in communities across the state. IAACE helps support and strengthen that impact across Indiana. Here's what some of our members have to say.
Being a member of the IAACE community at large, you are supported by the camaraderie and creativity of hundreds of colleagues across Indiana.
I've made some great friendships, some great acquaintances. I became such a better teacher and adult educator.
I can talk to other people and be encouraged at what I'm doing. I can learn new skills.
And what makes IAACE so special is that the support is so extended on just meetings and conferences.
More than 400 adult education professionals are already part of this growing community. Becoming a member is as easy as clicking Become a Member on the IAACE website. Join the community shaping the future of adult education in Indiana today.
So I'll conclude with, this was our big project among collaboration and engagement. And if you found that interesting, then please consider joining collaboration and engagement. We need all those voices, new voices. Your voice matters. Please, please participate. Thanks.
Why won't it go on, guys? I'm trying here.
Minimize.
We interrupt this program for technical challenge.
Can you speak?
Okay, let me go in here.
See that meeting tab at the top?
My meeting is what I'm in.
David.
And the slide control wants to assign it to somebody.
You still have sign.
Okay. If I would have known this was going to do this, I don't know if I would have put it in there, David.
Being an adult
Oh, wait a minute. We better go back to the.
Woohoo! Okay, we're back. And I'm back. Welcome back. Notice that we have 9 different awards listed here. If you haven't been part of IAACE before, you're not really fully aware that of all the awards and those distinctions. So the list you see there are going to be awarded at our next IAACE meeting in September/October. And being an active and engaged person, like I hope each of you happens to be, means that you can nominate somebody. So if you can look to your left or right at your workplace and you see somebody who gives their all and does it selflessly in what they do, and they do it so well, look at the different awards you have in which you could nominate somebody. So if you want to see other people winning awards or people you think are deserving, you are the person who can make that nomination. You should do it. And speaking of, May 28th, that is in less than 2 weeks, nominations for those very awards will be going live. You'll be able to do that starting then. And we should have an abundance because this state isn't a national leader for nothing. So we hope that we receive dozens upon dozens of nominations for each of those awards. And that may be widen our reach, virtual meetings, first Thursday of each month. First Thursday. Now I'm coming off board and I'm hoping that we'll be able to continue striving to reach new goals and make IAACE even better. We will have a change of the chair since I'm coming off the board. So I know we have some great members currently and hoping that maybe one of you who's watching today may consider joining us in collaboration and engagement. Any member can be a part of a committee. You don't have to be a board member. And that's a wonderful thing about it. So if you're thinking about getting your feet wet, now's the time to do that. And please make us continue to be the leader that we are in the nation. And next, I'm handing it off to Denise again.
Thank you, David. Hello again. Now I get a chance to report out on our advocacy, which really should be called our educating committee. You've heard a lot before. I won't repeat a lot of things. Lauren, thank you again if you're still on for sharing, and then Laura Pastore as well. A lot of the things that are going on with our committee in partnership with DWD and of course with Barnes and Thornburg and our lobbyists. But we do have Melinda Haynes was my co-chair this year. Right now we have about 10 members that come to each of the meetings, and then that also includes current and past SAFE fellows. The SAFE fellowship is through COAVE. We've had different members. It's an experience that I was able to have this past year and keeps us in the know on the federal level as well. DWD is always part of our meetings, and again, Lauren is at most of our meetings keeping us updated on what's going on at the state level. As we said, new members are always welcome to attend. We all need to be out there educating our legislators on all the great things that we do. Again, this is a budget year and we'd like to get some of that $4 million back into that line item. So our monthly meetings are virtual. Currently, they're held the second Tuesday of each month and at 11 a.m. to noon Eastern time. So please think about it and join us. A couple of highlights. Again, I don't want to go too much and repeat, but we did have this very successful 2025 AEFL week in September. Again, we secured a governor's proclamation. Thank you to Jen for helping get that secured. And Laura and I were able to go to the governor's office and receive that proclamation. This year, we reached out to our committee to get mayoral proclamations and got quite a few all across the state. I was really happy to see how to do that. And I think our committee members realized that it was easier than we thought to get those secured. So shout out to the committee and anyone who helped us out with those. Flood the Hill, which happens during that week in Washington, D.C., and our very own Marilyn Pizzullo represented Indiana adult education. So we thank her for being there and sharing all the good things that we're doing and being a part of educating at the federal level. And we did receive a social media influencer award from COAVE. So Jen, we appreciate all that you do with the social media for the good things going on during AEFL week. And we know everyone else was posting away. So continue to increase our social media presence. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course, X and YouTube. Forgot about those. Adult Education Day. As we said, there was quite a bit of snow, but it didn't matter. Over 200 attendees. I love the picture from above to see everybody who was there. Thank you everyone who could be there. Thank you to our committee. Thank you to DWD, everything. There was a lot that we did that came together. We had staff, students, and partners. It was a wonderful day. And of course, highlight to have Governor Braun as our keynote. I was able to share that at the COAVE conference level. And let me tell you, other states could not believe that the governor was our keynote for our Adult Education Day. In fact, many states are looking at how we run our Adult Education Day at the State House and are trying to mirror that. We have put out some of what we call a playbook. And as I said, there's other states wanting to do something as well as we do each and every year. So thank you for that. Senator Rod Bray was there, Representative Michelle Davis, Representative Renee Pack, and Senator Greg Taylor was the one who was just walking by, heard our essay winner reading and asked, could he speak? And thank you to Christy McIntyre Gray because he came up and challenged all of us to continue the great work we're doing, and our interim commissioner, DWD Mike Smith, and of course our student essay winners. What a great way to celebrate their great work and their stories. Next slide, please. We consider to have advocacy or education in action. These are just a few things that we talk about. Last July was a lot, and we don't need to relive that, but thank you to everybody on our committee and in our membership. I know there was plenty of 3 clicks to reach out to our federal legislators to get that frozen funds back into our accounts. And I'm not saying that we in Indiana solved the problem, but on July 25th, 2025, members of our committee board met with Senator Todd Young, staff member, and I believe later that afternoon the funding was released. So maybe we did it ourselves. So great job on everybody, and thank you for being a part of that. Conference sessions, Melinda Haynes talked about getting to go with our theme, getting to third base with your local legislator.
We're gonna throw that theme in there.
She asked, we said yes, and then at COAVE, I did get a chance to share adult education did the training. Thank you to Adrian Carroll for Advocacy April, and also I think we also had our letter of signing outreach. Hey, it's there. Yeah, and I know we've said it over and over, but this is huge. Governor Mike Braun is a supporter of adult education. He was our keynote speaker. He did a welcome video at the COAVE conference, again, which was repeated at the SAFE session. And then there's a picture there of the signing of HEA 1195. Shout out to Representative Michelle Davis. Thank you for authoring that as we look at the 16 and 17-year-old requirements, which are going to help increase our enrollment and our HSE attainment at our program level, and continue the HSE pilot program. And we did also honor Governor Braun with the plaque. All right, looking ahead, as Lauren said, it's a long session, biennial budget session, so please invite your legislators to your program. What can you do? Just foster new relationships. There's obviously been some changes with the primary, so find those relationships and make your educate your legislators on the great work you do in your community. And then I know we'll have impact sheets from the state level at DWD, but it's also great to share your local impact sheets. What are you doing in your community? We will continue to celebrate AFL week with the governor's proclamation. We intend to increase our number of mayoral proclamations, get some legislative visits to your program, and we do plan to represent at Flood the Hill again. And finally, Adult Education Day 2027. It will be here before we know it. We want to increase our legislative attendance. A suggestion, again, as we're looking ahead, maybe we're going to provide a continental breakfast. We'll see what the new chair has in store. And potentially, again, this is a possible save the date, February 16th. We'd like to move the day back into February if possible. And I think that just means to continue to join us, but I want to give a huge shout out to the committee, to the membership, to DWD, to everybody, because we really came together this year to keep the funding, because we all know there were a lot of probably sleepless nights with what's going on. So I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody involved, whether it's a click or a meeting, or you're very much appreciated. So thank you. And I believe I am done. So I will send it over to Michelle. There you go. Okay, Michelle. Oh, come on. Oh, here. Oh, it's fine. There we go.
Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Ellis. I am your ILA Vice President. The first screen there is showing our mission statement for Indiana Literacy Association. The next screen is our financial summary. Our beginning balance, $9,902.56. We brought in $2,328 for our silent auction. The ZEPI donations were $390, so a total income of $2,718. We have much more expenses because we were able to provide some grants. So we did the Lunch and Learn, $2,118.41, the Pro Literacy memberships, the sponsor for the Adult Ed Day at the courthouse, or at the State House, sorry. And then program grants awarded were $1,000. Total expense, $5,118.41. In our checking and savings, we have a balance of $7,511.15. Our IU credit union account is our smaller account for separated for our half pot. So we started with 523, brought in 282.50, so the total income was 282.50. Our Spark Aid funds is for immediate assistance up to $200, and then we had the Clinton County, we designated 39 and CARA with 203. So the ending balance is $563.50.
I forgot the slide for a motion to approve. So can we get a motion to approve the Indiana Literacy Association finance report?
Katie will make the motion.
And a second?
Katie will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. On our bylaw changes, the name and the purpose, there was just some miscellaneous corrections that have been made for typos and grammar errors.
Motion to approve the bylaw changes.
It's the next one.
Is it?
Next one. Yeah.
Nope, it's not.
Right.
It's all on the one side.
Okay. It's gonna have a motion to approve the bylaw changes.
Yes.
Second.
Denise.
Any objections? Motion carries. The proposed board member slate is Tom Miller and then Denise S. Slinger, previous IAACE president, open as of July 1st.
Treasurer is open.
Treasurer's open this July 1st. And then a motion to approve. Vote again.
Carol moves to approve. Change.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The successes for 2025-26 years, we collaborated on Lunch and Learn at the conference, grow and develop the board of directors, cultivated many grants, opportunities for member organizations, continued fundraising opportunities to support IAACE and our ILA MOU and the Spark Aid Fund. Our goals for next year are new mission statement, leverage of capacity grant, collaborate on conference, rework the strategic plan task list. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. Now we are to good news. Our last agenda item, we have our announcements. First save the date is July 21st, the Indianapolis Indian game at Victory Field. That is a fundraiser and a community event for ILA. We get a percentage of all. We get $3 back from all of the tickets per ticket that is sold. So if you can, please come. It is a beautiful stadium, as we saw from Coe from across the street. Next, we have our Spark Aid Fund. Looks like they are open to apply at this time. If you are interested, please feel free to go ahead and apply. You can request up to $200. And this is trying to help for any of your literacy related supplies or immediate assistance with adult learners. Next, we have our great teacher talk that's coming up in June. Sounds like this is going to be an awesome event. It's preparing adult learners for the AI-driven workforce. Katie spoke about this, and it looks like it's also in collaboration with ILA. Next, we have our awards. Nomination process will be opening here in May. Next, we will have our nominations closed, hopefully August 20th. I'm just kidding. So we have our committee that will make the deciding process. And we will do our awards evening at conference on September 30th, which I can personally say I always love. I think it's a beautiful event. Next, we are looking for you. Please join our committees. We want to hear from you. We would love to have more. There is room on all of our committees to add more. So if you can select any of these committees as if they have all been covered. We'd love to have you join. And all that information will go to the committee chair. Next. Great. These are just some of our quick communication links for all of you. You can go back and look at these slides probably and use the links. Next, we do want to hear from you. As David covered very well, your voice does matter to us. We'd like you to fill out this survey. Again, this is anonymous. We will not know who says what. We are looking for your feedback because again, in December, we need to go through our mission statement and our strategic plan. And we'd like to just make sure that we are being guided by you as members. Next. Does anybody have any questions? Any other announcements you'd like to share in the chat or in this room? Allowed to speak in this room, sorry. Okay, well, hey, 11:41 isn't bad. Our goal is to be done by 11:30, so I think that's not too bad considering all of the people we had presenting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Marilyn. Anybody else? Or I need a second. Sorry.
Second.
Thank you, Jared. The retirees are ready to leave. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Meeting is adjourned at 11:42, Maeve. Next slide, please. We do have, just so everybody knows, your certificate of participation.